Bonjour from the French Riviera, from the small town of Cassis. Today's adventure is going to be completely different. You won't be seeing any snow, ice or crampons for that matter. Instead, get ready for steep hills, rugged cliffs, the Mediterranean Sea, and of course, beautiful swimming creeks. Yes indeed, welcome to the Calanques National Park. Today, I will attempt to cross the entire park from sunrise to sunset, from Cassis to Marseille, without taking any shortcut, without running, and also by passing by the highest peak, which is at Mont Puget at 565 meters. Join me. From Mont Puget you can see all of Marseille. Yes, there's something in the trees moving. Even though the highest point here in the Calanques National Park is at Mont Puget at 565 meters, as I said, however, the elevation loss and gain is going to be a lot, because the way the Calanques are, you would need to go to sea level a few times and then again go up a few times, so zigzagging actually. Regarding my plan, so I started exactly at 8 a.m. And I will be passing by a few famous creeks, so a few famous Calanques. Wait for the great views. And as I said, also I will be passing by Mont Puget, which is the highest point. From there actually you get a great view over Marseille and the Mediterranean Sea. Usually it's so windy on that summit, but yeah, we will see. As for me, I didn't actually bring a lot of stuff with me today. Usually in the Calanques I only bring my running backpack actually. With a running backpack, a 1.5 liters of water, even though it's recommended of course to drink more, a protein bar and an apple. Yeah, I would say they are enough, for me at least. Behind me is the Calanque d'Envaux. So actually this is one of the most, if not the most famous Calanque spot actually. Yeah, so if you actually Google Marseille Calanque, this is the first photo which you will get. Usually photos are taken from that hill over there, and yeah, overlooking the entire Calanque. That was the first major stop of the day at the Calanque d'Envaux, which was excellent. My next stop is actually going to be in probably an hour and a half. It's going to be at the Col de la Candelle. So for that actually I need to climb like probably 400 meters. Stay tuned. I'm following these signs, so the red and white one from Cassis all the way to Marseille. And actually if you see GR in France, it means Grande Randonnée. So it's actually like a big trek. My next trail is actually going to be on that hill all the way to that rock, which is next to the Col de la Candelle. And the view is starting to open up a little bit. You can see it's sunny today, but it's really windy. For some reason, every time I come here, I always lose the trail somewhere here in the middle. So I have to go off trail to actually return to the point where I'm supposed to be. I have just made it to the Col de la Candelle, but actually before I continue to the col and show you the rest of the trail for today, and yeah, continue the trail, I'm going first to take a small side trek and actually go to Mont Puget, which I can see in front of me. Technically speaking, the highest point of Mont Puget is actually behind me. I have passed it already, but actually here, this is the main viewpoint. Yeah, so this is the cross, and then a great view of Marseille. We start with Marseille, so you can actually see the entire city from here. Yes. Then we continue to the right. That one is actually called Marseille, and then behind it you can see a snowy peak. That one is actually called Mont. It's a high mountain. Actually, it's around 1,800 meters, if I'm not mistaken. It's next to a town called Avignon. That peak is actually called Callelongue. It's next to the one. Then you can see a few peaks behind. Actually, I guess they are part of the Alpes de Provence. Then we continue to the right. All of that is actually called Le Massif de la Mont. And you can see the highest peak. Actually, not the highest peak of the Massif, but the highest peak in the department of Bouches-du-Rhône. It's actually called Pic de Bertagne. It's like 1,042 meters. Yeah. That was quite windy, as you saw. It's expected. It's almost always like this at the summit. Actually, there's a reason why I didn't show you the sea view. So I'm keeping it for my next point. 11:30 and I am back to the Col de la Candelle. I can roughly say that I am almost halfway through the trail. Let me show you where I started and let me show you where I'm heading and what's next. This is the Col de la Candelle. So if we go back, you can actually see where I started. So I started all the way from there. Actually, the beach facing that rock over there, yeah, from Cassis, and then all the way through this part, and right now at the col. And next I'm going to continue all the way till the end. Yeah, till the end. If you know me, you know that I'm a huge Tolkien fan and all the realm of Middle Earth. And it doesn't help that I'm also wearing a summoning t-shirt as well. Why I'm mentioning this, let me show you in a second. So in addition to all of these rugged hills and steep cliffs, you can actually see the sleeping dragon. Yeah, definitely. I mean, wherever I come here, I always picture the shape of that hill to be Smaug. So Smaug, the sleeping dragon. And yeah, so my next point is I'm going to descend again to sea level to the Calanque de Sugiton, which is also one of the most famous calanques. And then from there I'm going to take all this trail and take actually my first break on the back of the sleeping dragon. Just like that, I'm back to sea level. You can see that I descended all the way from the col over there. Yeah, let's continue the trail. This is the port of Morgiou, and my trail actually goes left, so I need to go left all the way here through the mountain to head to the back of the dragon, as I said earlier. Finally, for my first break. After almost 6 hours and 27 kilometers, I have finally reached to the point where I'm going to take my first well-deserved break. Yeah, it's been a long way. Yeah, let me show you my favorite spot where I usually take breaks in the Calanque, because actually it's not really crowded and you rarely see people here. So this is where I'm going to take my break, and where usually I take breaks whenever I come here. So actually you can see that I started all the way next to that brown mountain, all the way up to the col, where you can see over there, and then all the way to Mont Puget, back to the col, descending again to the Calanque Sugiton and over the hill here to the port, and now I'm climbing back here, and then I'm going to continue next over there. Can you see that point in the background? So this is where I'm heading. This is my last stop. For those who may be wondering on how to come to Calanque, to the Calanque from Marseille, it's actually well connected. So of course by private car it's very easy, and then even on public transportation it's really well connected. So for example, from Marseille to Cassis you can either take a train like how I did today to be really early in Cassis, or actually take a bus from Castellane from Marseille, and then actually you can also take another bus from Marseille to Luminy. From there actually you can arrive directly to the forest, and then to either the col du Sugiton or actually climb Mont Puget directly from there. There's a third bus as well which connects the next Calanque, and then finally when the Calanque end at the last point where I'm heading today, there's also another bus which connects to another bus and then goes back to Marseille, Castellane. This way you can actually continue to the Calanque of Sormiou. However, I'm not going to go down, I'm going to continue on the ridge. The Calanque of Sormiou is down there, so this is the latest view. Now I need to cross that forest actually to go all the way to the col de Sormiou, which you can see in the middle, and over there I'm actually going to take my second and final break before going beyond or behind that mountain over there and go down all the way to sea level. I'll just continue till the end. I just had my second and last break. I hope this protein bar will actually give me the remaining energy. You know, after 8 hours and a half, it's almost 3:30 p.m. So after almost 8 hours and a half and 32 kilometers, I'm really starting to feel it. But yeah, it's okay. So probably I'm now entering actually the final part. I will show you the views when I climb a little bit higher up. But yeah, probably it will take me 1 hour and a half or probably maximum 2 hours. So exactly by sunset. That island is actually called the Ryu, and I guess it's not open to the public as far as I know. I'm now entering the last part, all the way to sea level again. Probably it will take me 2 to 4 kilometers, I guess. We will see. Or as we say in French, on verra bien. Probably I'm not going to get any more views of Mont Puget, but yeah, can you imagine? Like 5 hours ago I was on that call. Yeah, it's a long way. All the way from here I can actually see the start of the trail more or less, and the end as well. It's very interesting. Let me show you. As you can see, so in the background you can see the brown mountain, which is in front of Cassis, and all the way to Mont Puget. That is the col over there. And then yeah, we continue, and the other side you can see like it's almost the end. It's not the end actually, there's still a trail behind that rock, but yeah, it's almost the end. Actually, just a small correction. When I started this last part, I said that it's probably going to take me like 2 to 4 kilometers. Yeah, but actually it's much more than that. We're talking about really like 8 or 9. But it's okay. So right now, I guess there are still like 4 to 5 kilometers left. When I first did the Calanque 2 years ago, this is where I had my first swim, yeah, in the Calanque. It was really nice and cold. The Calanques are also a very popular place for trail running, you know, given its proximity, I mean, to Marseille. And I mean, personally, since I don't like to run in the city, so I always come to the Calanques to run. One of the trails which I repeat more or less almost all the time is actually from Luminy all the way to Mont Puget and back again. For me also, the Calanques are actually a great place to exercise for mountaineering. Yeah, as I said, even though the elevation, the highest peak actually is not that high, but you know, the constant elevation gain to go all the way to these hills, to these cliffs, and then the constant elevation loss to go back to sea level multiple times. I would say this is a great way, you know, to train for high mountains. My battery is about to die soon. Just like how I started this video on the beach in Cassis, I'm going to end it in the same way here. So I'm standing right now at 37 kilometers more or less, and I still need like 3 kilometers, 3.5. So probably half an hour more. Yeah, that was a really nice long trek. It's a great exercise. So actually the first time I did it, it was 2 years ago. I was really finished by the time I was done. But I'm feeling much better right now. I don't know why. I don't feel that tired. Probably because when I did it, it was hotter. I mean, it was during October. Of course, if I need to recommend this to anyone, I would definitely recommend to get as much water as possible, of course, and also to have with you like boots with a really good grip, because some rocks could be slippery. So what's next for me? So I haven't really planned for my next trail here in France, but actually I'm planning already an international trip in February, to hopefully try to summit two high peaks in a country. More on that later on, of course. Yeah, thanks again for watching all my previous videos, and thanks again as well also for watching this video.